Hi folks, welcome to Economic Observations. Today is the 23rd of July. My name is Chris and this video is sponsored by the Tanzania School Foundation. Thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to have two topics we're going to talk about. The first one we're going to talk about is medical debt in the United States. It is skyrocketing, folks, in collection agencies currently, not including 2020's pandemic. It is up to $160 billion, up from $80 billion in 2016. Most of the states that have the debt are where there's no Medicaid expansion. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people work a couple of part-time jobs. They do not have health insurance. There is no mandate anymore. And the debt is ballooning out there. This is becoming a huge debt problem that no one talks about. We hear about mortgages and rents and people not paying them, and student loans, people not paying those, and topple medical debt on top of that. It is a real problem. Biggest problem that lies with medical debt is it's not chosen. People don't choose to get sick. People may choose to go to university and take out student loans. People may choose the bigger house over the smaller house and put themselves in too much debt. People may charge too much on their credit cards. But when you get sick and you have medical debt, you don't choose that. $160 billion. And that doesn't include the medical debt that people put on their credit cards. And it doesn't include the medical debt that the hospitals still hold. That is medical debt. Medical debt strictly at collection agencies. And someone is having a heart attack, they treat the person, whether you have insurance or not. And then the person without the insurance is riddled with debt that they can never afford to pay. People have to make choices. Should I pay my mortgage and my utilities? Should I pay my car payment? If I don't pay my car payment, my car will get repossessed. If I don't pay my utilities, my lights will go off. And oftentimes that medical debt goes unpaid. Why should I pay a doctor I'll never see again, a lot of people think. It is becoming a huge problem in the United States, especially where there's no Medicare expansion. Congress is trying to come up with some kind of tax break or private insurance for people in these states that don't have the insurance policy. Let's face it, people are working 2 part-time jobs nowadays. Doesn't come with medical insurance. And nowadays, even in corporations, the medical insurance you have sucks. There are people that have $10,000 deductibles before insurance kicks in. And then insurance only covers 60% of the bills. This is going to be a huge problem, folks. And it's only just beginning. We're at $160 billion without the pandemic. Can you imagine what it's going to be once they include 2020? Something to look out for. And now I'm going to segue into something a little different. All these videos are sponsored by the Tanzania School Foundation. I founded the Tanzania School Foundation, and over the past 10 years, I've lived on and off in Tanzania 6 months a year. In a perfect world, I would go for the winter. I hate winter in Massachusetts, so I would leave in January and come back in April. And then I would go back in July, and then I would go back in October, November. I would go and come back. I would raise money in the United States and go back to Tanzania and build a school and help other people. I had this crazy life, flying over the pond and across the equator 6 times a year. I loved it. I have a home in Tanzania. I have a 3-acre farm. It's pretty self-sustainable. I have banana trees and lemon trees and orange trees and mango trees, papayas, you name it. I can even have some goats and cows. I have solar panels on the roof and a well with clean drinking water. I have beautiful views of Mount Meru and Mount Kilimanjaro in the distance. Tanzania is a beautiful place. But more important than my surroundings is I have some really, really good friends in Tanzania. I have friends that own some hotels and lodges in Tanzania. And they invite me to those places for a respite. We've become like family. They are my family in Tanzania. They take good care of me when I'm down, and they taught me everything I needed to know. From running a school there, from taxes and workers' employment contracts, and I subsequently taught it to the people who manage everything today. They are wonderful, wonderful, generous, kind people. I have spent months with them over the past 10 years. I would go to their beach resort with them for a week. I would take a ride in their car and drive the 10 hours. I would drive myself to their safari lodge when I needed a break. I loved them. I sent Annette a text message saying, "Hey, sorry I missed your birthday. Hope it was happy. How are you?" Because I hadn't heard from her in 2 weeks. And Annette replied saying her birthday was lovely. But 2 days later, John got sick. John had a fever and chills. And then the fever and chills broke, and he became really fatigued. He would sleep 2 hours after breakfast and 3 hours after lunch and be asleep by 9 o'clock. John wasn't himself. By the time Annette realized that he should go to a hospital, their friends were still visiting and they waited for them to leave. They finally made it to the hospital, and John had COVID. He was put on oxygen. Subsequently, they learned that their friend's daughter had COVID. Annette and their 28-year-old son also tested positive for COVID. They were quarantining at their safari lodge, while John was fighting for his life on oxygen at a hospital in Tanzania. This morning when I woke up, I learned that John passed away. John was my age. John had no underlying health conditions. John was a conservationist. He loved the outdoors. He lived amongst the elephants and the lions and the zebra and the giraffe. John was a gentle giant, and he took care of his family. And John loved his wife. He was a really great guy. I can hear his laughter, and I can appreciate his dry sense of humor today. John never had the opportunity to get the vaccine. The vaccine is not available to anyone in Tanzania, whether you're Americans or locals. We're privileged in this country that we have adequate medical care, albeit expensive. We have free vaccines to prevent us from diseases. People would pay thousands of dollars to have that opportunity in Tanzania, and quite frankly, in 65-70% of the world. We are a superpower. We have options, and yet people in this country don't want to take those options. They don't want to appreciate all that we have to offer. My friend died of COVID today, and I am urging you, if you have not taken the vaccine, to get the vaccine. Don't have a heavy heart like I do today when your friends or family pass away. Don't cause this heavy heart to your friends and family should you pass away. We don't know how it will affect any of us, but I lost a friend today. And my best friend lost her husband. Get the jab, folks. Thanks for making it to the end. I appreciate you. Call someone and tell them you love them. We'll talk again real soon. Have a good day.